On Monday, Sarah Ferguson announced the launch of a new weekly podcast called Tea Talks with the Duchess and Sarah, out next week. Fergie, as she is affectionately known, is co-hosting the show with entrepreneur Sarah Thompson, and the pair have promised they won't shy from any subject. It's about time we spilled the tea. Our brand new podcast Tea Talks with the Duchess and Sarah is out next week on all streaming platforms, Fergie wrote on Instagram, linking to the new program from Viral Tribe Entertainment. And now, royal commentators have shared their anticipation for the secrets the Duchess of York might spill. This week, Christine Ross and Christina Garibaldi, hosts of the Royally Us podcast, discussed Fergie's newest venture. Ms. Ross said, "I can't wait for this. Give me all the royalty that I can possibly handle. I'm sure she has a lot to say. I'm sure she has a whole vault of things that she can divulge." Ms. Garibaldi added, "I know. She could literally write a book. She's hiding a lot of secrets. Only time will tell if she will spill," Ms. Ross said. According to Tea Talk's Spotify profile, listeners can expect candid conversations from the co-hosts as they spill the tea on the roller coaster of life. Don't miss. Prince Andrew urged to downsize to Frogmore Cottage. Latest, King Charles' long and bitter architecture war, Insight, poll, should Buckingham Palace be turned into a museum? Poll, what titles Prince Andrew lost, and what has demanded back. The Duke of York was sensationally stripped of several royal patronages and military affiliations with the Queen's approval and agreement back in January, but Andrew is thought to seek a return to royal life and has petitioned the Queen to have several titles returned to him. Click here to read the full list of what titles Andrew was stripped of, and which ones he's hoping to regain. With a cup of tea in hand, each week you'll hear about the week's hot topics, as the hosts share their thoughts and perspectives on everyday issues. The duo will also be joined by special guests and share personal insights to listeners' dilemmas, the page states. These two great friends will approach everything with infectious enthusiasm and a healthy dose of humor. The Duchess and Sarah promise to leave no stone unturned, and no biscuit undunked. And, in a teaser trailer shared to Spotify, the two friends introduced themselves and their podcast. It's about the highs and lows of everyday life, yours, ours and anything in the news, Fergie's friend said, before exclaiming, "I can't believe you asked me that on the first podcast." The news of Fergie's upcoming podcast comes after weeks of the Duchess stepping into the spotlight. She has appeared on Sat Down for several interviews in recent months, touching on topics such as her memories of the late Queen Elizabeth II and her relationship with her ex-husband Prince Andrew. Fergie has also appeared on several podcasts in the past, including the City Island podcast and Tea with Twiggy, during which she spoke about her admiration for her late mother-in-law. "I think to myself that honestly, my mother-in-law has been more of a mother to me than my mother," she said in August 2021. "I absolutely admire the incredible way Her Majesty is so modern. And how flexible, and how understanding, and how forgiving and how generous." Her foray into the limelight also came as a result of her latest romance novel, A Most Intriguing Lady, which was published in March. The Duchess took part in book signings, sat down for on-stage interviews and appeared on an array of television shows, marking a contrast to recent years which saw Fergie play a less high-profile role. Now Sarah is back in the glare of the public eye. Royal commentator Kinsey Schofield has argued the Duchess seems to feel right at home. Speaking on a recent episode of the Majestio podcast, which she hosts with Talk TV presenter Christo Falfas, Ms. Schofield referred to Fergie's book signing in New York. They specifically will say at the book signing, she will only sign one book and no pictures, the commentator explained. But if you walk up with your camera and multiple copies of the book, Sarah drops everything, signs every single copy of the book and wants to take pictures with everyone. Ms. Schofield continued, she is extremely happy to be there, extremely happy to participate in these events. And you can just tell that she enjoys the limelight.